Yes, it's a mainstay on the show. Every Tuesday, we touch base with Keron Rose, the digipreneur, to give us the latest via the digital world. Again, we live in the technological age, and if we don't embrace the technology, we will be left behind. Keron, great to see you as per usual. Good morning.
Thank you for having me once again. I hope all is well with Trinidad and Tobago and yourself, JW.
All is well, all is well. So what direction do we go this morning? Let me get my pen and paper, as I always take notes every Tuesday.
So today I wanted to have the conversation about whether or not you should be posting your prices online, right? So we know there's been a debate as to whether or not is this a practice that you should engage in? So that's where we're going to take the conversation today. And then also to kind of feed off what you said last week about how businesses should deal with the negativity online as well.
That's right. So let's start with the posting of the prices. Is this to do with your service? As myself, like, let's say, my hosting course, as opposed to, let's say, a product. Let's say I'm selling phones or I'm selling pens. I mean, granted, you want to put your price up for a particular product. So does it vary according to what kind of business you're conducting online?
So yes, it does. Now, I do think rule of thumb is that due to us being in the digital world, everybody wants information at the drop of the dime, right? We see a lot of businesses on social media that don't post their price, and they'll post their product, they'll post a service, and everything that they mention in the caption is usually a DM for price. And they want you to now send them a message or call them. But we know how that goes. You send a DM and they take days, sometimes weeks. I've even seen situations where businesses responded a year later to giving people a quote or the price of a product, and the person's already moved on. So if you have a product, you always want to post your prices, right? Now, if you have a service, and let's just say there are more things to consider when giving out a price, the best practice is usually a starting from price. Hey, this particular service tends to start from this, so people can already qualify themselves. If the price is already too high for their budget, then they know not to waste your time and also waste their time running you down. And then once they reach out, you can now start to get the questions, give them the questions that you need to get the answers to provide them with a proper quotation for your services.
Okay. So in essence, I guess it's really tailored to the particular business you're doing. And as you rightfully said, it's important to at least put some kind of price point there so at least people could know floor price as opposed to ceiling price. I guess the ceiling price, you could do your investigation and find out. And more so, what you're suggesting here is there needs to be a dedicated team or person to really give that immediate feedback, because it makes no sense somebody makes a request and then, as you said, they'll move on. They hear from you 2, 3 months, a whole year after. Come on.
A year later. And yes, you definitely want to have a resource dedicated to responding to your social media platforms, because guess what? Your audience, your clientele, they are all online. Whether they are buying with you or not, they're going to be buying with your competitors. And what people fail to realize is that you're no longer just competing with other businesses in Trinidad and Tobago. No, you are competing with the global. You're competing with everybody in the world. Because now, if somebody sees a product and they message you and you don't respond in time, they can easily jump on Amazon, jump on Walmart. They could go online, add the product to cart, purchase it. And there are situations where people have ordered online and the product has been delivered to them before the business locally has even responded to them with the price of the item.
Yeah, very important conversation, because again, name your price. Products and services come with a price, and one can't be coy and you don't want to say it's a big hidden secret. Put your price out there. I guess some people are afraid, Keron, because people will naturally want to beat down a price or try to compare a price also. I guess we are accustomed, that's our culture.
Yes, but you know what? That's good, because the reality is, post your prices, because yes, people are going to be doing their homework. You can't stop that, right? People are going to be comparing prices between you or your competitors. But when you hide your prices, it already puts the customers in a state of distrust, right? They're already looking at your business like, why do I have to go out of my way to find this price? What are you trying to hide? when you post your prices, it already starts to build trust in the eyes of the customer that this is somebody who is upfront about their products, upfront about their prices, so that you already start to build that trust. If you're worried about competitors knowing your prices, well, guess what? Your competitors are DMing you and calling you more than your actual customers. So either which way, make it a good experience online and post your prices. That way people can self-qualify themselves, and you're not responding to a bunch of DMs from people who are never going to do business with you because they're not your ideal customer.
So I want to pivot now to damage control, because let's say people decide to go online and, oh, geez and ages, look at our price. Or worst case scenario, going back to what we started off with, they take a total jab at your business. You know, they're upset and they go online, they leave some sharp remarks in the comments, or they do a post, put their face to camera, and they ruin your business down to the ground. How does one now treat with that? Because again, we have seen many a business, from big establishments to SMEs, having to treat and deal with those scenarios. What's your advice for damage control and to weather that kind of online storm?
Honestly, you always want to try to minimize these things before they happen. But when they do happen, we have a lot of businesses that the first reaction is to try to delete the comments or try to delete the videos or even attack the customers online in their own responses. No, what you should be looking, or the way you should be perceiving when customers are attacking you online or leaving these kinds of remarks, view it as an opportunity to show the world and to show the public just how you are willing to work with your customers and how you deal with situations. Because there are times when a potential customer will see the way that you have treated the worst circumstance or the worst customer. And if you did everything you can to work with the customer and people can actually see that, you might have lost that one customer who left the remarks, but you might have gained other people, other clients, because they're viewing the situation, how you were handling it, and saying, you know what? Maybe that customer was wrong, or I really do like the way this business composed themselves or dealt with this customer, and you're gonna gain other clients. People are watching. Use these situations, the negative situations online, to showcase your world-class customer service.
Have we seen cases, and we don't have to call any business name in terms of local or abroad, but I'm sure through your lens being in that world, have you seen businesses getting a serious hit or even having to rack up and pack up, close up shop because of bad publicity and not dealing with it in a meaningful and, I would say, as you put there, a strategic manner?
Yeah, so I mean, I can't say whether they've closed up because of, you know, one situation or two situations online, but it definitely leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And I think we've seen situations locally where businesses have mishandled situations online so badly that you now have customers who feel guilty even walking into the doors of your establishment, or they don't even want to post about your business because now your negativity, the way you've mishandled a situation, somebody would post a picture that they're at your restaurant or your location, and people are commenting, hey, what are you doing there? Why are you there? We're not supposed to be supporting them. They don't even want that negativity, right? So there have been quite a few situations where businesses have definitely mishandled the online the negative online interactions, and because they've negatively mishandled it, it's left a bad taste with customers, and again, people start to feel guilty about even patronizing your business, and you don't want that.
Yeah. Keron, we're looking to wrap things up on this Tuesday morning. Any closing remarks in the 15 seconds we have remaining?
Yes. Biggest thing is post your prices. It saves you time because you're not going to be responding to a bunch of DMs or messages from people who are never going to buy. And posting your prices allows people to now self-qualify themselves for your business. They already know whether you are within budget or out of budget, and they're not going to waste your time and not going to waste their time. Otherwise, they'll just go on Amazon and purchase anyway without you involved in the process.
Hey, Digipreneur, always a pleasure. We'll touch base, Godspeed, next week.
See you next week.
Digipreneur Keron Rose with us every Tuesday, and we look forward because Tuesdays, second hour especially, we start off with the technology talk and we segue into health and wellness. Up next, conversations on cancer. We speak to Dr. Allen, Miriam Allen, pediatric consultant. We deal with vaping and children. Very important